There I was, trying on my cleats on the first Monday, the first week in summer after I finished 8th grade for football practice. I was extremely nervous to be starting my St. Thomas Academy experience so early in the summer. I'd been told many stories of the head coach at the time and was told by various people not to mess with him. He was a ruthless leader and would not let anything slip by. I was told that he is as tough as they come, and that if I slip up during practice, that I would soon feel the wrath of the mighty David Zebarth. This motivation by fear caused me to start my journey off strong and kept the mindset that if I can make it through summer practice without being yelled at by the Incredible Hulk himself, high school would be a walk in the park. Officially, the first event that I attended at STA was the summer football practices. It was a completely different environment from my past football teams. On my previous football teams, our practices consisted of young kids who showed up but showed no emphasis on team bonding. It wasn't until we were 3/4 of the way through the season that we would even know each other's names. There was never enough time to create fun memories with each other because we had all come from different schools. However, St. Thomas Academy football has proven to be much more significant from anywhere else I had been. These practices were spirited and gave me a sense of brotherly bonding for a common goal. My first memory of football was on the third day of practice when we finally started installing plays. My job for this first play was to run a 10-yard slant. Charlie Fafinski graciously decided to throw me the ball, completing my first pass. After I caught it, I ran over to give the ball back to him and said, "Thank you for throwing me the ball," unlike that Will Herzog kid who would rather run the ball instead of putting it into the hands of his teammates. When I lined back up with the other receivers and tight ends, I met this strong, handsome, and tall jock who went by the name of Luke Herzog. He simply looked at me and said, "How did you make it on the team? You're slower than my skit brother John." Over the next few practices, I realized that the most enjoyable part of practice was the fact that there was constant competition between the offense and the defense. There was constant chirping, along with multiple drills where an individual from each side of the ball would compete against each other. There were many different drills such as flipping tires, running sprints, and tug of war. As a young freshman, it was so much fun to watch as the older guys would compete with high intensity all throughout practice. Seeing this motivation influenced me to become more devoted to hard work with a positive attitude. During this period of adaptation, I learned a new appreciation for the STA environment. It opened a new world for me and caused me to step out of my comfort zone. The enthusiasm and high energy of these boys caused me to create lifelong relationships with each and every one of them. It took me a while to really start enjoying the school because it was considered a very non-traditional high school environment. Although adapting to STA was a struggle for me to get used to, I had adjusted to this new environment fully by the end of freshman year. Just when I thought that everything was normal again, I was very wrong. Now my challenge was no longer acclimating to high school, but instead there was now a new obstacle. A high schooler with a normal life would typically wake up, pass by their siblings, eat breakfast that their mothers prepared for them, and head off to school. Now this is what my life consisted of all throughout freshman year, when my mom was always at home and my brother would never stop making noise. But everything changed the summer from my freshman year to my sophomore year. As many of you probably already know, I have not lived a very traditional high school life, at least while I'm at home. My siblings, consisting of my younger brother, Joel, and my older sister, Wesley, decided to pursue the path of ballet dancing at a young age. It was in between my freshman and sophomore year when my mom, brother, and sister moved out to Arizona for them to further expand their knowledge of ballet dancing. So there I was, waking up in the morning to a quiet house with no breakfast waiting. Although this new change was extremely unusual and hard to get used to at first, it soon became natural. I had many people that played a major role in helping me with this big change in my life. Whether it was Logan Cloutier providing an extra house for me if I got lonely, or Elliot McDonough asking to hang out on the weekends just because he wanted a ride. I adapted to my new lifestyle very quickly. I could not think of a better school to be attending when you're having a tough change in your life. Although most of my family was living in Arizona at the time, my St. Thomas Academy family was here for me every day. It was hard to come home every day to an empty house where there was nobody to talk to. I could not ask for any help doing my schoolwork, which my mom was usually very good at. The only resource I had at my disposal was none other than St. Thomas Academy. My teachers would always ask how I'm doing or if I would like extra help when we were given a project or a large assignment. I truly didn't know if I was going to make it through school my sophomore and junior year, but because of the caring environment that SCA has provided me, I've successfully made it through 4 years of high school. Well, at least almost. Attending St. Thomas Academy has made me realize who I truly am and has given me so many great experiences that I will remember forever. I've realized that I've chosen the most unique path among my siblings. I'm not a naturally skilled ballet dancer, nor do I travel the world competing in national and international ballet competitions. Rather, I play football, I go to school, and I hang out with the boys. It is a much simpler life, but that is what truly differentiates my siblings from who I am. Over the years, I've realized how thankful I am to have my brother and sister so that I can be motivated to do something great someday. I'm always hearing about the great accomplishments that they both have achieved, and cannot be more grateful to call myself their brother. This speech would not be complete if I did not mention my parents. Now, Mom, I know that the past few years have been very tough for you, considering you've been extremely occupied in Arizona, but everything you've done has been for the greater good of each of us. You've allowed Joel to further pursue his ballet career as he continues to do it today. At the same time, you've aided me to grow into the independent person that I've become today. Dad, I know that you've been working very hard for each of us, just as much as Mom has. I admire your hard work and dedication to your family, to have worked almost every day and to never complain once. I hope that one day I will become as much of a hard worker that you have become. I would also like to thank you both for sending me to this great school. I would not have rather spent my high school life anywhere else. Lastly, I would like to thank St. Thomas Academy and all the great faculty members who have given me the experience of a lifetime. The school has taught me hard work and leadership skills, as well as it has given me lots of experience with team bonding and good sportsmanship. I would have never seen myself being called the mayor by every football coach during practice, but Coach O'Brien has a specific love for creating new names for people. Throughout all these experiences, whether they were in the classroom or out on the football field, I'm proud to see the man that St. Thomas Academy has shaped me into today. Thank you.